There we go. And we're live. Thank you so much for joining us today, Daniela and Lorin. Nice to meet you, Lorin.
Good to meet you.
Whereabouts are you located?
Who are you talking to?
You. I already know where Daniela is. She's 3 hours
Okay.
north of me. I'm inside Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Whereabouts are you?
I'm at the beach near Los Angeles.
Oh, very nice. Well, thank you for getting up so early this morning to chat with us.
I'm always up early.
Oh, that's good. I'm not sure if you want to see comments, you can click the thing in the corner there that says comments. There we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, Holly, Michelle, Rhonda, Lori. Good morning, everyone. Make sure you guys can hear me properly.
Good morning. Good morning, friends. Good morning, community.
There we go. This is Lorin, everybody.
Super excited to introduce our community, Lorin Roche. Lorin Roche is one of the founders and co-creators of the Radiance Sutras Meditation School. And about 50 years. And he is one of the most amazing, caring, loving, and understanding meditation teachers on the planet right now. I swear to you, he loves helping people to discover a style of meditation that they uniquely enjoy, because here in the West, so many people, so many students will say things like, I can't meditate. I try to sit down and I can't stop my mind. Or I have too much of a monkey mind. Or it's just too hard. I get too distracted. A lot of people are intimidated by meditation and have never even been invited into discovering meditation that they enjoy. Right? Like meditation and enjoyment aren't often put in the same sentence. And so Lorin has spent his whole life, his story is phenomenal and amazing. So one question to Lorin will be like a half hour. Like he'll take us to Paris and back, and he's an amazing storyteller. So I just wanted to say, welcome, Lorin. Thank you for your service to humanity. You help people enjoy their inner world, and that's enormous. So, over to you, Lorin. Oops, you're muted, Lorin.
There must be a button that got pushed somehow. Bottom left screen, it says mute. Yeah, no worries. Good morning, everyone.
Okay. I thought it would automatically unmute.
There we go.
Yep. I got tired of having these things in. I decided. So what? So,
yeah, you sound great.
The first thing to know is that meditation is a natural human experience. It's part of our survival instincts. So we all know the stress response. You see something or hear something or smell something dangerous, and immediately there's that pulse. What, where? Like you smell smoke, you hear something, you see something. So our body-mind system and its brilliance is designed to immediately what's happening. So there's 100 degrees of stress, from just a tingle, like what, to slightly scared. There's roller coasters and movies can be scary. And stress is not bad. It's part of our survival instincts. Yeah. And there's 100 degrees of it, up to full on, oh my God, you have to grab the baby and race out of the house. Even if the door is on fire, have to get out. So it's a magnificent response, this what we're calling the stress response. And nature has put into our bodies the exact opposite of the stress response. Like, of course, like, duh. Do you think nature is stupid? The universe is stupid? We would just have the stress response and not the opposite, like the cure, the mirror opposite. So what we're calling meditation, and you can call it anything actually, is a set of 10,000 ways of accessing the mirror opposite of the stress response. And physiologically, with brain waves, heart, blood chemistry, muscle tension, you can measure, and it has been measured, stress has been studied extensively. You can go down the list of physiological measurements, and what we call meditation techniques give the body permission to enter the recovery mode, the recharge mode. And we've all experienced this many times, like put on your favorite music and drift away, listen to it, sit down or lie down, just go look at the ocean or a river, whatever your favorite experiences in nature are. So being held, being with someone you feel safe with and being held. Animals are masters of the meditation response. Like they'll come over and they'll get you to pet them, and they're just like go into bliss. So what we're calling meditation is as natural as the stress response. It's as natural as sleep. It's as natural as loving music and dancing. And it's just part of our survival instincts. Now, we each have our own favorite ways. And this is what's wonderful. We each have our favorite ways. There's, like Buddha said once, monks, I've given you 84,000 different, I think he used the term dharma doors. And for all the different kinds of people there are. So let's go wild, basically. And the Buddhists did. The Buddhists, they took these teachings all over. Like they walked for years. As that back in the day, you had to, like, if you were in Nepal and you wanted to go to Burma, what we now call Burma or China, you basically walked. And they walked all over all over the known world. And Buddha said, don't put the teachings in Sanskrit. Don't put them in an arcane language. Put them in the language of the people. So the Buddhists became masters of translation. And so that's been going on for 2,500 years or something like that. And here we are in the modern world. And so when we think or talk about meditation, we can use this kind of jargon-rich language like people do. We love to make things to jargon to prove that we're smarter or more in the in-group than anybody else. We can use these. There used to be this word highfalutin. I don't know what, Daniela, what would be the modern equivalent of when we use just jargon, impenetrable language that is designed like, I'm so much smarter and more spiritual than you? What do we call that these days?
Propaganda.
I don't know, maybe it's intellectual. Maybe it's just intellectualizing something.
We can also, these jargons also can be used to attack. Like, I'm more mindful than you.
It's like gatekeeping in a way, you know?
Yeah. So there's a lot of gatekeepers. That's a great, you know what, that's interesting. You just taught me something. So you can talk about meditation in these complicated ways. And there's this feeling of incense and like there's a guru somewhere that I'm supposed to bow down to. Or you could say this is a completely natural human experience. And so that's been my exploration. I started meditating in a science lab at the University of California in 1968. And I was a control subject. So they paid me good money to sit in a pitch black room, completely silent, wired up to brainwave machines, like for 2 to 3 hours a day for weeks. And I just loved it. I mean, first of all, if you're working your way through college and someone's paying you to do nothing, that's pretty good.
Well, you weren't doing nothing. They were definitely checking your brain waves and making sure that you were doing
That's right.
something.
I was contributing to science. And isn't it wild that our brains run on electricity that's measured? You can put wires. Okay, here's a little science tidbit. So you can put a wire anywhere on the human body. Let's talk about muscles. It's called electromyography. You can put a little teeny wire somewhere in the body and have a person hold completely still, but think of moving their hand, and just the thought sends a little tiny signal. So, for example, you could have someone, a downhill skier, someone who races downhill. If you've ever seen people racing downhill on skis, you could have an athlete lying down with their wires on their body, lying down, being completely still. And the coach could actually see where they're turning and where they're going straight, because even if the person's completely relaxed and completely motionless, when they imagine that carving that turn, the brain sends a tiny electrical signal to the muscles, and you could see it on the charts. So let's go back to the stress and relaxation. We can activate the stress response, this magnificent emergency response, by sensing something real in the environment, or we can just think a thought like, oh my God, I'm late on the rent, or I forgot to do this thing, or oh my God, I didn't call Sue on her birthday. Oh no, she's going to yell at me. We can activate it with a thought, just a little teeny thought. And it's the same thing with meditation. You can activate this powerful healing response in your own body just by thinking a thought that works for you. So that's it. Like, you could actually take that, just that, you could take that and then invent pretty much all the world's great meditation techniques. Like, just go explore. I'm like, what thoughts to me are so beautiful that I want to hang out with them? And if you take any of the classical meditation techniques, breathing, mantras, don't just impose it on yourself. You can go in, like if there's a breathing exercise, if there's something with sound, mantras have to do with listening to inner sounds, inner dance. What do I love about breathing so much that, oh, it feels like a treat to hang out with it? So you'd start with, for example, well, I love the smell of night blooming jasmine, or I love the smell of coffee, or I love the smell of fresh cut hay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you start with, what do I love? And that's how amazing, like, contact with nature. So we actually learn to meditate by exploring, what do I love so much that I just want to be with it. It's a treat. And this is how you construct your meditation practice. And then if you take that idea and then you look at the thousands and thousands of meditation techniques that we get from ancient days, as if, oh, this was somebody's favorite thing. And they thought, oh my God, this is so great. I'm going to encode it in a sutra. Yeah, I'm going to put it into Sanskrit, or the language of the time. And like, I got to share this treat. And so what the meditation traditions did is that they were basically, we can't say tweet anymore. That's too bad. I was used to say they're going to tweet the future, or text. They basically shooting a text to the future. And there's a lot of jokes that need to be made about that, because they all believed in reincarnation. So I think that back in the day, these characters that went off and were exploring meditation, they'd say, "Oh my God, this is so great. I'm probably going to reincarnate in the future, and I want to see if I can put this in a book of poetry or some kind of sacred text, so that in the future I could find this. I could walk into a bookstore or go on the web and find it." And they did, and they did. So over the last like 25 centuries or so, people have gone off to the mountains and the forests and like just studied like what's happening in meditation. What are these? How much fun can I have just being alone in nature? And we have this wealth of practices that they developed. And yet, even with all of that, the whole thing is about each of us exploring like what aspect of creation do I love so much that I want to be with it? And also, what do I feel that I need? What do I need? So let's play a little bit. Now, here's like a 15-second soothing exercise you can always do. You just breathe out slowly. This is like one of the big techniques. Just, that's it. So let's just do that for, say, I'm going to turn off this other monitor over there, and I'll time. So let's just, where's the timer? Let's yeah, I'll time. So have fun just breathing out. And do this in your own way. So that's about half a minute. Let's continue for another half a minute. So that's about a minute. So usually when we do something like that, we'll actually feel the physiological shift within a few seconds, within 15 or 20 seconds. Now, we're all different and we all go through all these different moods. So if you're really scared or anxious, or you might, instead of feeling soothing, you might realize, oh my God, I'm so stressed, or I'm so tired, or I'm sleepy, or I'm happy. So in general, you'll find that you just invoke the chill response, like, oh, like when an animal comes over to you and puts their head on your lap or something and just like pet me. In general, you'll find your body just acts like that. Oh, like you're being petted.
It reminds me of my father was a therapist, and whenever I would get angry or upset as a child, he would say, take a deep breath and then count to 10. And you count to 10 as you're breathing out. And that's kind of what it reminds me of. I'd feel that sense of peace kind of come across me as I'm doing that.
Exactly. Well, you can invent the count to 10 thing because you're getting quantitative and like, okay, this is a technique. It evokes a placebo effect that, well, I'm counting. So the counting helps you dissociate from your bodily sensations. And then when you check in later, you'll feel the sensation. So I find that works just great. And with these techniques, always just do what you like. Like some people like to count. And I find counting sort of boring, but it is Some people, it's very soothing.
That's why counting sheep works so well, you know?
Yeah. For some people, counting is a great technique. That's why, Buddha said, I've given you 84,000 different. So the question is, like, what are your favorite techniques? And it's like your favorite music and your favorite, like, foods and your favorite tastes. There's not just your favorite, but like right now, what's my favorite? So you want to give yourself freedom. So when you meditate, you want to give yourself freedom to explore my personal way to meditate. You want to give yourself the idea of love. What do I love? And then also, what do I need right now to tune up for my day or recover from my day? So there's freedom, love, and work, or our to-do list. And this is always what yoga is about. Back in the day, thousands of years ago, they said it's about love, which is kama in Sanskrit, which is sensual pleasure and love. Moksha, freedom. And artha, your work, your ability to work, and find the work you love, be rewarded for work, have a home, and dharma. There's always these four purposes: freedom, love, the ability to work, and then making a contribution to the larger world. So that's the adventure. When we approach meditation, it develop a style, and we each need to develop our own style that to us feels like being at home in ourselves and able to rest deeply and recover and prepare to meet the world. And there's thousands of ways, thousands. Like, I love them all.
Yes.
Lorin, if it's okay, I'd love to just share with our community two of your many resources. If you look up Lorin Roche online, he has many books and resources. Two that are really these two are a great start. This is by Lorin. It's called Meditation Made Easy. So it helps you to discover, let me explore this and see how I love it. Let me explore this and see how much enjoyment this brings into my meditation. This style of meditation that Lorin invites us to explore, they've beautifully described as instinctive meditation. So it really invites you to connect with your own individual uniqueness and what you love, what brings you joy. So this is a phenomenal resource, Meditation Made Easy. And the second book that I wanted to share is by Lorin and his wife, Camille, called Meditation Secrets for Women.
Ooh.
Yeah, because women be different. This is amazing.
I love the art on the cover.
Isn't that beautiful?
Book. Yeah.
So Meditation Made Easy and Meditation Secrets for Women. This is like every woman just needs this. It's incredible and so delightful to work through. It's a joy to dive into
and play with. When you approach meditation, think of it as something that you can play with. And it could be like sampling foods or wine, depending, or beer or tequila, whatever your delight is. It's like, do I like this taste? Or like listening to music. I'm not really into EDM right now, or I am. Oh wow, that beat. You'd sample, and how does my body respond? Now here's something wild that you need to know as you approach. It's that just like the stress response is almost instant, like a tenth of a second, the opposite of stress, what we're calling meditation, it starts happening within a tenth of a second also. Although because it's quieter, it usually takes a few seconds to notice, to feel slower than the stress response. And our body starts to melt away or shake off excess stress right away. And so what we experience in meditation is like, ooh, and then ouch. It's often. There's a page in Meditation Made Easy that describes it. It's called the awe and the ouch of meditation. When we begin to meditate, say we had a busy day and we take a few minutes before dinner to meditate, there's often this rhythm of settling down, maybe 20 seconds. This is so great. And then, ouch, oh God, that thing that happened at 3:00, that meeting was so stressful, or having to fire somebody, or that thing somebody said, or that stressful thing when I was commuting. We'll relive and release stress while we're meditating. And this is an area of great confusion. People think they failed to meditate because their body-mind system is flushing away, melting the stress. And no, that's the success of meditation, that it's a safe place to let go of being in emergency mode. And it's quick recovery. We could even rename meditation like the rapid recovery response. It's getting over it quickly. And it's challenging. So in meditation, over the seconds, we'll relax and then we'll release stress, and relax and release stress, and relax and release stress. And this is what everybody experiences moment to moment. One of the things that requires unlearning is thinking that you failed. Like the whole standard expectation of what meditation is blanking your mind. You got to unlearn that. Yeah. So there's a series of things that we all need to unlearn, that I have to blank my mind, that there's somebody grading me, judging my meditation, that I'm supposed to feel calm right away, rather than just welcome the wild ride. Meditation for people that are busy it's a wild ride where it's like watching 10 movies at once. You're giving the body permission to let go of the stress, the emergency response, the distress, and recover the ability to feel excited about life. That's wonderful. Meditation is as intense as the movies that we love. And then the sigh of relief. So when we're actually meditating, we'll actually go through a whole loop of deep relaxation and stress release, deep relaxation, stress release, over and over again for 10 or 15 minutes. And then after meditation, there's this often stunning feeling of just having come back from a vacation. It's like a good half hour of meditation when we have internalized the skills. It often feels more powerful than a 2-day vacation. And so this is a magic power that you can learn. Everybody has this. It's built into your body. So
we had a good question from Janine.
Yeah.
She says, do you have any suggestions for barking dogs and other distractions besides finding another place to meditate?
Well, you can wear earplugs if you want, but then you'll hear your own breathing and your heartbeat. This is one of the things to learn. Like you can read Meditation Made Easy slowly, or you could take our teacher training, which is a good way to learn to meditate. The idea that there are distractions, that's toxic for meditators. It's not a useful idea. That's one of the things to unlearn. Because to a great extent, We can just meditate in the midst of the noise
Pure
of the
chaos.
world.
Yeah.
So technically what happens, say we're meditating and then we hear a dog barking. Well, we'll wonder, what's the dog barking at? And then it's like, oh, everything's fine. But a leaf moved, or another dog walked by, or the dog's lonely. Our awareness goes there and checks it out, and then we'll continue.
Yes.
So the idea that in order to meditate, the world, everything has to stop. The whole world has to shut up and everyone has to freeze. That's an old idea that's sort of everywhere. It's one of these toxic ideas that makes it impossible to meditate. Because in those there's rooms that different companies have built that are to explore hearing. They'll have like an underground room, and there's absolutely no sound. And people hate it. Most people hate it. When it's absolutely silent, then after a few minutes, you start hearing your heartbeat going ka-bump, 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 and your own breathing going. And there's absolutely no echoes. Some people get nauseous and they hate it. So that's just one of these ideas that will destroy your meditation. Like, don't even meditate. The idea that there are distractions, the idea that you're supposed to make your mind blank, the idea that you're supposed to sit still, that's all bullshit. That's not meditation. Those are a set of rules that you need to realize those are not my rules. Like, you're not the boss of me. Yeah. And they creep in. They'll creep in the rule set and like a video game, try to interfere with your meditation. So when we meditate, part of the meditation flow is just the body mind system processing our to-do list. So it's a wild ride where we'll settle in and shift towards relaxation, and then the body wants to review, well, what are you so stressed about? And then attention goes to whatever we're stressed about and brings soothing to it. And then we shift into deeper relaxation. And then we review what we're stressed about. So it's wild. And we're just in our body mind system. We're not going anywhere else. So it's, in a way, it's no big deal. We're always dealing with tension and relaxation. Meditation is just a way of amplifying the power of the recovery, healing, rest, restore, refresh response. And it's amazing what can happen in 20 minutes. So bring on the questions.
Someone just said, any suggestions for people with ADHD, people who struggle to focus?
Welcome your speed. Now, everybody probably has different version of that. Can you say more? Like, what specifically, what's underneath the diagnosis?
A lot of times it's just hard for ADHD. I'm speaking from personal experience. Our mind kind of wanders. It's kind of hard to lock down the mind into
Mind
thinking nothing.
wandering is another one of those toxic ideas that interfere with meditation. Minds are supposed to wander. So the idea that mind wandering is bad is one of these toxic ideas from the monastic traditions, and it has no relevance for people who live in the world. So the question is, what does my mind want to wander to?
To become the observer of one's thoughts while you're meditating.
What's thrilling to me? What is the next adventure? So for if you accept that diagnosis on yourself, or if you notice the tendency, the question is, what is like my mind want? What's the most entertaining way to meditate right now? So in the 84,000 techniques Buddha gave, there's techniques that are exactly like a video game. So
Interesting.
yeah, say for example, let's take some modern science. So our brains run on electricity. You can actually put little wires on your scalp or anywhere in your body and measure the electricity of thinking a thought. Like when we actually, like if say we're sitting still and we imagine, say we love skateboarding or snowboarding, and we visualize running snowboarding down a hill, the muscles are all triggered. Little electrical signals are flowing constantly. So every second, actually several hundred times a second, there's trillions of little tiny electrical signals flowing through the body, trillions. And when a group of them get together and we notice it, that's called a thought. But there's always the body is rivers of electricity that are always flowing. And sometimes we notice it, oh, it's like I'm hungry, or I'm lonely, or I'm thirsty, or I want to talk to John. I want to talk to John or Josie. But there are actually trillions of thoughts flowing through the body every second. That's what a body is. And so welcoming this flow is one of the secrets of meditation. So you can see that the standard way of thinking about meditation actually is a declaration of war against life. And if you want to meditate, just forget about that. It's probably better to not even meditate if you're going to go in as an attack against the self, as a series of microaggressions against your individuality. Like go do something else, dance, do archery, gardening.
Well, those are kind of forms of meditation in a way. It's just like an active meditation, because even when I'm driving, I just zone out. I don't even think about it. You know what I mean? For a while, I'll just be in like this, other place while I'm driving, not even really thinking about it.
Yeah, we can. Bodies are designed to be able to do that, to be able to function, to walk, because until recently, everybody walked everywhere. You'd walk 20 miles or 30 kilometers a day, every day, just getting water and fetching things and moving around. So yeah, we can walk and be thinking about stuff. But so say that we notice, okay, like I'm ADHD, notice the speed. See, in reality, what the human brain is trillions of thoughts per second. And we notice a few of them. And so you make your technique to be like curious and noticing what's actually happening, the sparkle. How many of these sparkling thoughts, because each thought is a little sparkle of electricity, a prana in Sanskrit. And then what do they want? What's the themes? I don't use the word mind very much because, just like you said, mind wandering, distraction is this whole realm of toxic things, as if we're wrong somehow for existing.
I think we've been taught the wrong way to meditate, personally. All of this that you're saying resonates so deeply, and yet this is nothing I've ever been taught before when it comes to meditation.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, meditation, the way people practice it, is often harmful. If you go in with the idea that I'm supposed to block thoughts and block my own inner wisdom, I just don't Just don't
Well, this
do
is
it.
why so many people say I can't meditate. I know at least 5 people that'll say right off
Yeah.
the top of their heads, "Oh, I can't meditate."
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, I don't think you really tried the right way then, hearing the way you're describing it, Lorin.
Yeah, that's not meditation. No, that would be like the way that what do we call it? That what people the standard model, what do we call it? That set of expectations about what meditation is. Anyway, whatever we call it, what they're really doing is like saying someone has with a shoe, like a little, say they have a shoe this big, and they'll just go, well, I tried to put my foot in that shoe, but it didn't fit. So there must be something wrong with my foot.
Yes, great analogy.
And many meditation teachers, this is all very innocent. They will teach students the singular method someone else told them. It is very pervasive in the West to go to yoga classes or to go to a meditation class, and the teacher will say, follow your breath. And when a thought comes, push it away like a cloud.
Yeah,
basically ignore it.
It's just everywhere.
If you want to see Lorin's hair curl, it's that. Okay. So I'm not kidding. Yeah. It is so many wounded meditators have it's like a carnage of meditators in the West that think, oh, I mean, my goodness, when the aspect of you that is grief arises in your meditation, send it off like a cloud. Are you kidding me? So Lorin has dedicated his life to helping Westerners in particular to unravel these wounds from very innocent meditation teachers who only teach a style that is actually kind of only appropriate for the monastic path, if part of your monastic path is to retract from engagement in the intimacies of life, to retract from your embodied experience as a being using with your senses, and to deny everything. And Lorin has even worked with many people, Westerners, that went on the monastic path, spent years doing it that way, forcing themselves, and coming to him in tears because they missed 10, 15 years of their lives doing a style of meditation that was like an aggression upon oneself.
Wow. I'm speechless because, you know, there's so many things that they have weaponized. You wouldn't think that they've weaponized even meditation, but clearly they have.
Meditation has been weaponized for thousands of years. So they're past masters of it. They sort of invented it because in training to become a monk, it is a murderous process. They want to murder the old self.
I got chills all
literally,
over
and then
right
be
now.
reborn.
It's crazy.
Let me tell you a story about monks really quick. The Namgyal monks came over from India this one summer. My job was to show them around Ithaca. And these were many of them were very young, and then they were with their elder senior monks. So it was a group of maybe 15 monks. Most of them were 25 and under. And I'm like, oh, where do you want to go? What do you want to go do? Do you want to go to the Johnson Museum? Do you want to go to the things that I thought, like, you know, were like smart to go see? And they were like, can we drive? Can we go out on a speedboat? So I took them motorboating with like their robes all flapping in the background. I took them go-karting because they wanted to feel the thrill of their aliveness.
That is so adorable and beautiful. Wow.
It is. It's shocking. It's like say it ain't so, that the wisdom traditions or what we get ain't so wise. It's just the way the world is. If most of the meditators in the Western world, Europe, Australia, the United States, Canada, and probably South America, I don't have any statistics for South America, are women. Because women are the active power source for meditation traditions in the modern world. And if we were to search the whole world over, like who has the least understanding of a Western woman? Who could we find that'd be the most clueless about
A
what
Western
women
woman.
want? It would be a monk from Asia.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I was wondering, when it comes to coming over here and having one of those experiences, um, do they not do that at home where they feel that they can go and let their hair down and just kind of, or is it always about work and meditating and getting to that bliss, that peace within themselves? Because it's always about excitement too. I thought life would be about that, that people, even though you meditate, you still want the diversity.
Everyone is so different, and inside of ourselves, we're all incredibly diverse. Every human
Yeah.
being, we each have all human beings in us. And so actually dealing with our inner diversity is one of the fundamental principles of meditation. So, for example, just saying, I welcome all of who I am is one of the inner mantras for meditation. I welcome all of who I am, including like the inner saboteur, including like the child of a therapist who I think I'm diagnosed with ADD. I welcome my ADD. I welcome the therapist. I welcome like the little kid in me. I welcome the wise old woman in me. I welcome like the Taylor Swift addict in me. I welcome whoever whatever the equivalent is of a deadhead. Like there used to be people, I don't know if they still are, that worship the Grateful Dead. I welcome the midnight pot smoker in me. I welcome the coffee addict. I welcome the dog lover. Welcoming all parts of the self. Like, come, everyone, let's hang out together. And then let meditation feel like a party for all of ourselves. And then I welcome all of my senses. For a lot of people, it's better to start meditation with the eyes open and just give yourself a chance to look around and just be, how wonderful that I have vision. There are people that don't have vision. Like my sister is blind. She slowly went blind over like 30 years. She had something called retinitis pigmentosa. I'm like, it's good to be grateful for what we have. And we can think of meditation, it's just for a couple minutes. I'm going to be grateful for like breathing, light. I can see light. I can hear sounds. Grateful for the senses. So I welcome all of my senses and touch. And this
I'm
is one of the
taking
things
notes here. I
animals.
welcome all of my senses.
I welcome all of my senses. And we have about 21 senses or more.
Really?
Yeah. It's like joint position is a sense. Like let's all, you're off camera, everybody. So nobody's looking at you. So go ahead and just move around, like be dancing in slow motion. And notice that your body knows where your arms and legs and fingers are. We actually have a sense, the angle and position of every joint in your body, and it's ecstatic. It's quietly ecstatic. Just be dancing in slow motion, eyes open or closed, and notice there's this quiet knowing of the position of the body in space. So we know the angle of the joints. We sense the motion, and we sense the relationship of the body and gravity. And these senses, as you get into them, it's beautiful. It's music. The relationship of the body and gravity. So here's a simple guideline. Don't think of meditation as closing the eyes. Forget that whole idea. Let your eyes be open or closed, whatever you feel like, whatever your eyes feel like doing. And don't think of meditation as sitting still. It's freedom to move. Freedom for the quote mind, unquote, to move. Freedom for the body to move. And I'm just going to explore and notice the beauty of motion. So here in moving, in whatever way occurs to you, and you might want to like invent your own alphabet of movement.
I've been doing this since I was a little kid. I didn't even realize this was a thing.
Yeah. Just in this, we have sensors in each joint. We also have we can sense tendon and muscle extension and contraction. There's motion. There's a sense that the overall sense of where the body is in relationship to space. And like when we're dancing or moving or walking, always actually, there's this song of information flowing through the nerves and muscles about the movement of the body. And when we're moving quickly, dancing, running, walking in nature, it's happening at a higher speed. And in meditation, we can feel a joy just of the song of all these senses flowing. There's dozens of senses that are being activated continuously.
Everybody's admiring Daniela. She's doing Qigong, you guys. You got to join her for Qigong sometime and see her work her magic.
So a good way to begin meditation is eyes open, just gazing, and then begin to move with the breath and let your hands move like people do when they're talking. Like observe people just informally talking. You'll see all these hand movements that we all make as we are just chatting away, all these hand movements. Think of breath meditation as being a conversation with life, conversation with breath. One of the miracles of breathing is that the earth and the oceans are continually refreshing and recreating the oxygen supply. So all the green living things on earth, all the plants and grasses, they're continually absorbing carbon dioxide. It's carbon and 2 oxygen atoms, and using the energy of sunlight to crack that and give off oxygen, O2. And all the oceans are continually absorbing carbon dioxide and giving off oxygen. So we have all this oxygen to breathe. So our bodies are always in communion, always in conversation with the entire world, the entire earth, and the sun, and we can feel it. There's nothing more natural for any living being, a dog, an ant, a bird, a bug, a person. There's nothing more natural for any body than to adore our food supply. There's nothing more natural and instinctive, just a simple joy. And breath is our primary food. Just think, how many times a day do you breathe? Just guess if you don't know. If you haven't read Meditation Made Easy yet.
I don't know why, but 10,000 just popped into my head. Am I close?
Yeah, getting there. Yeah. It's more like 20, 22,000 times a day.
Wow.
Babies breathe more. You can look it up. How many times a day does a baby breathe? might be 25 or 30,000 times a day. So breath is our primary food. You know, air, when it's good, clean air, it's basically invisible. But if you've ever stood near an airport and watched a giant plane take off, it's like this huge thing. It looks like it's barely floating there if you're a couple miles away from an airport. So breath, air is stuff. It's material. So we're breathing in this magic stuff that the sun shining on the forests and oceans of the world has refreshed, this oxygen. We're breathing this in continuously. It's our primary food. Maybe we eat 3 times a day, but we breathe 20,000 times a day. So it's when we're breathing, like a very basic breath meditation would be just to spend a couple minutes being in awe. Like, oh my God, what a system. Here I am sitting in my chair on my sofa or standing here. You can meditate standing, sitting, or lying down. Here I am lying on the floor. And meanwhile, unbeknownst to me, the sun is shining, this energy, and little plants all over the world are creating fresh oxygen for me to breathe. What a cool system. That's meditation in a second. And to spend a couple of minutes like, thank you. This is amazing. How amazing that what I call me, I am this river. I am trillions of teeny electrical signals. I'm absorbing the sun and the earth and the air and the oceans. And they're giving me this chance to experience the universe being in this body right now. That's meditation. And it's an instinctive response. We each have our own favorite way. And there's a set of things you need to unlearn. And we can only learn like one thing a day, really, like, and it might even take months. Like, okay, I'm going to tolerate the flow of thoughts. So like learning to just allow millions of thoughts to flow constantly. That's one of the skills. And don't try to meditate unless you're going to welcome that you're a being that thinks millions of thoughts every second. Don't go into meditate unless you're going to welcome all of who you are. Yeah.
Friends, we'll share in the chat and over in Divinate events. There's a link that you can join Lorin for a live introduction to meditation class on Saturday. And I believe you either get the replay sent to you if you can't join live, or upon request, they'll send it out to you. So it's a really incredible, like, come to the table with a beginner's mind. Even if you've been a long time meditator, come with a beginner's mind. And for those of you that have for those of you that have experienced hesitation or years of thinking, meditation is to stop my thoughts. Meditation is to have me get a calm mind, or to turn everything down. And you'd like to put yourself through meditation rehab in the most loving care. I would say that's Lorin and Camille. I also want to bring attention to, so again, their books are Meditation Made Easy. This just helps you to recognize.
I'm going to get that one right now. I'm going to get both of your books right now, Lorin.
And then there's by Camille, Lorin's beautiful wife, and Lorin, Meditation Secrets for Women. This is a must-have for all women. Just in the introduction, Camille breaks down why, for many women, when we sit down, we'll feel ourselves leaking, like feeling leaky, salt water moving out our eyes. It's a time where, and a lot of women don't even talk about that. And then they'll say, oh my gosh, I cry in my meditation. You do too, right? They think there's something wrong or weird about it. I think
there's something leaking. I'm like, why is my eye stop watering?
Now, last but not least, this is the Radiance Sutras. So the title, the Radiance Sutras, is in Lorin's and Camille's school, the Radiance Sutras Meditation School. If you look at the tagline underneath it, it's so beautiful. Can you see it? 112 gateways to the yoga of wonder and delight. It's an invitation. You can read any of these and just bliss out, and it brings you into what the wonder and delight of your meditation. They're absolutely stunning. They're like almost like little poems, and yet they are 112 different doorways into your meditation. So you'll see how long I've had this.
I was going to say, I've seen you've been using that book a lot.
Yeah, this is, you can see I like the first half of the book a lot, right? That's where this chapter of my life, right, is in the first half of the book. And here's a short one that is my absolute favorite. Okay, so imagine, I love saying this every sacred Sunday before we go into meditation. This is Sutra 86. There is a knower who experiences everything. There is a knower who experiences everything. There is a presence dancing everywhere. There is a lover who embraces us all. I am one with that light. I am one with that power. I am one with that love. And you can just take these sutras from the Radiant Sutras and just say them out loud, and one line will hit you like, it'll just strike that heart chord, and it just sends you into your meditation bathed in what you love. And it's incredible. Like, this is absolutely incredible. The Radiant Sutras was a love project of how many years, Lorin, did it take you in to dance? Camille would dance the sutra, and you had all your index cards. Was it a 10-year process?
I spent 27 years creating different versions of it. And and Camille danced every word. Yep. We would chant it back and forth. It's because the Sanskrit itself is so passionate and peaceful at the same time. It's rock and roll, and it was just a love affair to the act of doing that. Now, there's a question about asthma in the comments. I worked in the medical research on meditation for years, and I was part of a study on asthma. I did the teaching at the University of California in, was it like 72, 73? And as I recall, we found that it helps a little. What meditation does is it helps you modulate your own stress response. So you're giving your body access to profound relaxation and safety every day. And because stress makes everything worse, that is chronic stress, it gives your body more choices to calm down and heal, because the body heals mostly when we're resting. When we're active and running on adrenaline, our healing response is pushed into the background. So what meditation is usually every day you're soaking in recharge, repair, relax mode. So it helps some, but asthma is a genetic condition. So think of meditation as a general benevolent thing you're giving your body mind system, and it helps you cope with whatever you've got going on. We've all got something. Everybody's got something. So we're giving our body more of a fighting chance, like to function, a chance to function better.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Up in Lorin and Camille, if it's okay to share a little bit about, they have a 6-month program. It's a meditation teacher training. Participants join. It's fully online, and you have full replays and all that. So if you can't attend the live sessions, you can do the complete training through the replays as well at your pace. It is an incredible program that you could either participate in just to really root into a meditation experience and lifestyle that is forever yours. And you could certify to teach it in a variety of settings. Lorin and Camille are masterful at helping people to discover, where are you passionate about sharing this in the world? What would that look like for you? So they've run this program for a few years. It's incredible. And so Christopher will share the link if you'd like to explore that. For many, it has birthed a new opening for a new career. Is to train in meditation, to be able to coach people, to work in groups, to bring it to your clients, to allow people to discover the enjoyment of meditation and start to unravel these innocent and devastating methods of meditation that have shut people down. So to start to heal that in our culture.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and
Thank
the
you.
course, the meditation teacher training is just a good way to learn to meditate.
Yeah.
What you're learning are life skills
Mm-hmm.
for being friends with life itself, with your inner world, with the flow of liveliness in your body, heart, mind, soul. To meditate is, in a healthy way, is making friends with your own internal dynamic energies and learning to access the wisdom within. We all have many forms of instinctive intelligence. And like the chakra model used in yoga, there points to the different kinds of intelligence that we all have. There's many kinds of survival intelligence. There's musical intelligence. There's like craft skill intelligence, like touch, like being with animals, the skill of touch intelligence. There's mathematical intelligence. There's verbal intelligence, the ability to speak
Yes.
and say what we mean, to name things. This is kind of intelligence. There's dancing intelligence, there's movement intelligence. And a healthy meditation practice is a welcoming of all of the forms of intelligence that we have, and letting them form a team, so that when we get up after meditation and go approach our to-do list, our jobs, and our love, that we're bringing more of who we are, the best of who we are, and we're receiving. And that's what yoga means, that we're connecting the best in us with the opportunity of this moment, this day. So it's always about freedom, love, and ability to work. So playfulness, think of meditation as play, exploration, and resting, and learning to listen to the wisdom that's always flowing inside me. It's a great adventure.
You are full of so many beautiful analogies, Lorin. I love it. And being friends with life, I must say that was another really beautiful one there, because many of us are trying to relearn that. A lot of us feel that life is like kind of a burden, where it's painful and it's suffering, and so many of us are trying to find that little glimpse of enjoyment in life. And so I feel this is a really good first step in kind of getting into the appreciative mindset of why we're really here.
It is. And there is a detoxification that we go through, because the people are trying to invent things to suffer about because we don't have enough real things. I mean, just think about what was life like for your great grandmother, like the things that people dealt with in the past, or
It's
even
harder.
yeah. So in the modern world, it's like we're inventing things to suffer about. Like I'm suffering because I don't have enough likes on my latest.
I call them
Instagram.
first world problems. I
Yeah,
know all about that. Living in Africa for so
Yeah.
long, and hearing people complain, I was like, you guys don't even know. Like,
Yeah.
we don't even have
Oh, when-
electricity and flowing water here, and you want to complain about, your life right now. And it's like, but to them, it is, an awful thing. And it may, that's why perspective is so important. You know, it makes you appreciate what you do have.
Yeah. So, and part of meditation is a detoxification, and it's also, it often hurts. Like, we'll sort of fall into reality as we relax. It's shocking and painful. Like, I don't. Who cares if, like, my Facebook followers or whatever the thing of the minute is, if people don't like what I said, or like, who who cares? It's shocking to fall into reality and say, you know what? I'm going to enjoy being in my skin. I'm going dancing. I'm going for a walk with the dogs. But it it's there's often a pain, a shock, and then a joy that we go through when we recover, when we detoxify from artificial suffering and enter our real bodies. It If you think about all the movies and shows that you love, the characters, that what's enjoyable is seeing some character that you relate to faced with like an impossible situation or some challenge, and then finally you should see the character have to search their soul, like, how do I deal with this, and then start dealing with it. And we go through that same process inside of ourselves
Yes, we
in
do.
meditation, and we go through that every night when we dream.
Yep.
There's part of meditation that's similar to the healing process of deep sleep and dreaming. You know, you should know, you know this one somewhere, just to remind you, every night, many times a night, you oscillate through deep sleep and dreaming, and deep sleep and dreaming, and deep sleep and dreaming, and deep sleep and dreaming. And if you don't, you'll die. Eventually, your body will just fall apart. So that's built in. That's how bodies heal and restore themselves. Well, when you're meditating, to the extent that you're actually being at home in yourself and relaxed and restful, you'll see that you go through this deep relaxation and then unstressing, and deep relaxation and unstressing. You relax and then let go of tension, and then you'll feel the stress melting out of your body, and then you'll fall into relaxation some more. So that's the basic rhythm of meditation. Everybody experiences it. It's just that this map people have of what meditation is doesn't acknowledge that. What everybody's doing, so to speak, is that they're navigating their inner world, uh, following like a Google map of India in 500 BC. And it's like, why aren't I in Nirvana yet? Like, I'm driving along, like, I don't see like the Himalayas driving along and doing great, but you're using the wrong map. So take the 200-hour meditation teacher training and learn the map. And what it's about is all of your senses. What we study is your 21 senses, all of the emotions and all of the instincts, all of the different kinds of intelligence. And this is what you need to know in order to meditate and thrive in meditation day after day, year after year. Yeah. I've been teaching meditation for 55 years or something like that, since 1969, and training meditation teachers since 1972. So I've been training meditation teachers for 52 years. So come and get it. What I'm teaching is, I'm only interested in communicating the very best of the best of the best knowledge that I've been given and that we've learned from our research. I started interviewing meditators in 1968, like, what works for you? And how do you customize the meditation techniques so that you thrive? So that's been my life's work, is interviewing people and letting them teach me what are their favorite meditation practices, what's working for them. And so that's what we're sharing. It's a combination of the scientific research on meditation that I worked on, the practical experience of listening to meditators for over half a century, and then these beautiful range of techniques that we get from the yoga meditation tradition.
Lorin's like the grandma D of meditation. He's like the grandpa R, the grandpa
I'm
L.
totally getting that vibe. Wow.
Like thousands and thousands of one-on-one sessions, lengthy sessions, not just 15-minute sessions, to draw out, oh, this is what meditation is really for the spiritual being having a human experience at Earth School.
I spent many years in the 2-hour interview sessions letting people just describe to me their inner experience. And in the Radiant Sutras, what I did was, when I would find that the Sanskrit, what the word means, the images in the Sanskrit matched the things that people spontaneously say, I would bring that out. The Sanskrit, it's very embodied language. There's a saying in Sanskrit circles that every Sanskrit word means itself, the opposite of that, a style of music, a position in sex, and something to do with an elephant. But if you look at the meaning of a Sanskrit word, it'll often be some craft skill, something, a bodily experience or state, something to do with energy metabolism, maybe the name of a god or goddess, and just a style of music. It's called polysemy, where the words are constructed to have levels and levels and levels of meaning. And so I just let that richness of Sanskrit come out to play so that we can recognize, when we're reading the Radiant Sutras, you can recognize, oh, that's one of that. I love that technique. I didn't know that was a meditation technique. I thought that was just the secret thing that I do. Because it turns out that, like, kids make up meditation techniques. Mm-hmm. Like, the little kids will like lie on their back on the grass and fall upward into the sky, into the clear blue sky, and dance. And everybody makes up their own techniques. They just don't realize that it's a meditation.
Lorin, could you read us one of your favorite sutras in the Sanskrit and then the English? A favorite of the moment before we close?
Yeah, well, it just popped up, was 26. So okay. The Sanskrit comes to us in these like 12, 13-second chants. That's how they encoded it, like tweeting the future. I don't know what I'm going to do because we can't say tweet anymore. Text the future. So the Sanskrit came as a sound like Hridya, Akasha, Nilinaksha, Padma, Samprutamandika. There's a space in the heart where everything meets. Come here if you want to find me. It's also, come here if you want to find yourself. There's a space in the heart where everything meets. Come here and find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity, all are here. Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Enter this bowl of vastness that is the heart. And this bowl is the entire circumference of the horizon. Heart's not just here, this is the center, and it embraces the whole world out to the horizon in all directions and above all the stars and the earth beneath. Let's enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Entering the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Listen. Let's listen to the song that is always reverberating. Let's listen to the song of life that is always reverberating. Quiet ecstasy is here. Quiet ecstasy is here. And a steady, regal sense of resting in a perfect spot. Once you know the way, the nature of attention will call you to return again and again. Answer that call and be saturated with knowing. I belong here. I am at home. I belong here. I belong here. I am at home. Hridaya, Akasha, Nilin Aksha, Padma, Sambhuta, Majika.
That was tremendously beautiful. Thank you so much, Lorin.
Oh, thank you both. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And remember, you have your own way of meditating. It'll feel familiar, like, oh, this is what I love. And this is the big adventure of meditation, turns out. It's daring to love what you love. And so that's what's ecstatic and also what's challenging, because we know love is the great game. It's the great adventure. And it's scary. It's scary to love somebody so much that they become infinitely valuable to you. And meditation, it turns out, is a love relationship with the nature of life itself that tunes us up so that each day as we go forth, we can be better at loving, at giving ourselves freedom and giving other people freedom, inhabiting our freedom, and at working and playing and resting. It's totally practical. Love, work, play, resting, and giving the best that's in us to give. That's what meditation is about. And that's why people have been singing the praises of meditation for thousands of years. So come learn your way of meditating and unlearn those things that you do inside that are harmful. So thank you all for coming. And you're needed. You're needed in this world. The gift that you have to give, it could be just little, but your little or a big contribution is needed in the world. So don't give up.
This was a really special treat. And from now on, I'm not letting anybody tell me they can't meditate. I'm just going to send them to you, Lorin.
Yeah, come on down. You can do it for free. Just find a used copy of Meditation Made Easy, or you can take the training that works for you.
I think Patty speaks for all of us when we say enormous gratitude. Thank you, really. That was a truly the most beautiful meditative experience I think I've had in ever. Just hearing your voice and explaining all of this, it resonates so much on a deep level, and it answers a lot of questions for somebody like myself who has been thinking I've been doing meditation wrong this whole time, thinking I can't meditate, and now I'm realizing why I couldn't meditate, and it's because I couldn't follow the toxic form of meditation, and that's why guided meditation has always been more efficient for me. But now I'm realizing I was already meditating. I just was telling myself I was doing it wrong because I was programmed to believe I was doing it wrong.
Yeah. There's a lot of these microaggressions against the self that are called meditation, and that's not. Yeah.
Wonderful. And just to highlight Christopher's comment, there is a Bring Your Light to This World. It's free this Saturday, and it's in Divinate events. So thank you so much for contributing to our little school that we're building here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you both, and thank you everybody. Thank you, Christopher.
Wonderful. Yes, thank you, Christopher. Wonderful. Well, we'll definitely bring you back sometime, Lorin. This was amazing.
Just give me a holler. And what a beautiful phrase. Bring your light to the world. What a great, just thinking that thought, it feels enlightening. It feels joyous and freeing.
Yes.
Thank you, Daniela.
I love you. Thank you. Bye, friends.
I hope you all have fun. Bye, guys. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Take
Remember
care.
to do it your way. Everybody, find your way of meditating that's thrilling and peaceful.
Namaste.